Fort Lauderdale is a city in the U.S. state of Florida, 25 miles north of Miami. It is the county seat and largest city of Broward County. As of 2019 Census Bureau estimates, the city has an estimated population of 182,437. Fort Lauderdale is a principal city of the Miami metropolitan area, which was home to an estimated 6,198,782 people in 2018. The city is a popular tourist destination and yachting capital of the world, with an average year-round temperature of 75.5 degrees Fahrenheit and 3,000 hours of sunshine per year. Greater Fort Lauderdale, encompassing all of Broward County, hosted 13 million overnight visitors in 2018. There were over 560 hotels and nearly 36,000 hotel rooms from that. The county collected nearly $87 million from its 5% hotel development tax it charges. Additionally, 3.89 million cruise passengers passed through its Port Everglades, making it the third largest cruise port in the world. Greater Fort Lauderdale has over 4,000 restaurants, 63 golf courses, 12 shopping malls, 16 museums, 132 nightclubs, 278 parkland campsites, and 100 marinas housing 45,000 resident yachts. Fort Lauderdale is named after a series of forts built by the United States during the Second Seminole War. The forts took their name from Major William Lauderdale, younger brother of Lieutenant Colonel James Lauderdale. William Lauderdale was the commander of the detachment of soldiers who built the first fort. Development of the city did not begin until 50 years after the forts were abandoned at the end of the conflict. 3 forts named Fort Lauderdale were constructed. The first was at the fork of the New River. The second was at Tarpon Bend on the New River between the present-day Coley Hammock and Rio Vista neighborhoods. And the third was near the site of the Bahia March Marina. The area in which the city of Fort Lauderdale would later be founded was inhabited for more than 2,000 years by the Tequesta Indians. Contact with Spanish explorers in the 16th century proved disastrous for the Tequesta, as the Europeans unwittingly brought with them diseases, such as smallpox, to which the native populations possessed no resistance. For the Tequesta, disease, coupled with continuing conflict with their Calusa neighbors, contributed greatly to their decline over the next 2 centuries. By 1763, there were only a few Tequesta left in Florida, and most of them were evacuated to Cuba when the Spanish ceded Florida to the British in 1763, under the terms of the Treaty of Paris, which ended the 7 Years' War. Although control of the area changed between Spain, United Kingdom, the United States, and the Confederate States of America, it remained largely undeveloped until the 20th century. The Fort Lauderdale area was known as the New River Settlement before the 20th century. In the 1830s, there were approximately 70 settlers living along the New River. William Cooley, the local justice of the peace, was a farmer and wrecker who traded with the Seminole Indians. On January 6, 1836, while Cooley was leading an attempt to salvage a wrecked ship, a band of Seminoles attacked his farm, killing his wife and children, and the children's tutor. The other farms in the settlement were not attacked, but all the white residents in the area abandoned the settlement, fleeing first to the Cape Florida Lighthouse on Key Biscayne, and then to Key West. The first United States stockade named Fort Lauderdale was built in 1838, and subsequently was a site of fighting during the Second Seminole War. The fort was abandoned in 1842, after the end of the war, and the area remained virtually unpopulated until the 1890s. It was not until Frank Stranahan arrived in the area in 1893 to operate a ferry across the New River, and the Florida East Coast Railroad's completion of a route through the area in 1896, that any organized development began. The city was incorporated in 1911, and in 1915, was designated the county seat of newly formed Broward County. Fort Lauderdale's first major development began in the 1920s. During the Florida land boom, the 1926 Miami hurricane and the Great Depression of the 1930s caused a great deal of economic dislocation. In July 1935, An African-American man named Reuben Stacy was accused of robbing a white woman at knife point. He was arrested and being transported to a Miami jail when police were run off the road by a mob. A group of 100 white men proceeded to hang Stacy from a tree near the scene of his alleged robbery. His body was riddled with some 20 bullets. The murder was subsequently used by the press in Nazi Germany to discredit U.S. critiques of its own persecution of Jews, communists, and Catholics. When World War II began, Fort Lauderdale became a major U.S. base, with a naval air station to train pilots, radar operators, and fire control operators. A Coast Guard base at Port Everglades was also established. Until July 1961, only whites were allowed on Ft. Lauderdale beaches. There were no beaches for Afroamerican